At 8:10 p.m. on December 6, 2014, 19-year-old Jessica Chambers was found burning next to her car, which was also on fire. She suffered burns on all of her body. A flammable liquid had been poured on her body, up her nose, and down her throat. Early the next morning, she died as a result of her injuries. Jessica's car keys were later found along a road near the crime scene. Her cell phone was examined by authorities in order to determine her movements on the day of her murder. They determined that she had spent the morning with two friends. She later went to her mother Lisa's house where she took a nap. Later in the afternoon, she left after receiving a text from someone. She told Lisa that she was going to get something to eat and clean out her car. At around 5:30 p.m., she went to a gas station about a mile and a half from where her body was found. This was the last time she was seen alive. Location data from her phone showed that she went to nearby Batesville around 6 p.m. but returned to Cortland around 6:30 p.m. It is not known what she was doing in Batesville. About 15 minutes later, she called Lisa, who noticed that it was unusually quiet. At 7:30 p.m., she drove to the area where she was found about a half hour later. Authorities have yet to identify any suspects and this case remains unsolved. Suspects: none known. As Jessica was being treated by first responders, she allegedly said that someone named Eric or Derek attacked her. However, no suspects were found with that name. Nearly everyone from the area with those names was questioned, but they were all ruled out. Jessica's boyfriend, Travis Sanford, was also questioned and ruled out as he was in jail at the time. Quinton Tellis. Results: unresolved. In February 2016, Quinton Tellis was indicted on a capital murder charge in Jessica's murder. He had prior convictions for burglary, drug possession, and fleeing from police. He had also been arrested in 2015 for the murder of another woman, Miying Chen Xiao, whose credit cards he was caught using after her death. In this case, investigators connected him through cell phone and text records. He had known her for a few weeks and they were allegedly romantically involved. He was also the last person who texted her before her death. Tellis changed his story about the day of Jessica's murder several times. Initially, he claimed to have only been with her during the morning. He claimed that he had gone to a store in Batesville around the time of her murder. Surveillance video showed Tellis at the store at 8:26 p.m., more than 15 minutes after the fire was discovered. However, location data from their cell phones showed that they were together until around 7:30 p.m. Tellis had traveled to and from Batesville at the same time as Jessica. When told of this, he changed his story, saying that he was with her until around 7 p.m. He claimed that a friend of his picked him up that night. However, when authorities questioned his friend, he said that he had gone to a football game in Nashville that night. His attendance there was confirmed, disproving Tellis' alibi. When confronted with the discrepancies, Tellis changed his story yet again. He said that Jessica picked him up that night and they went to a Taco Bell in Batesville. He claimed that they went back to his house and sat in his driveway, listening to music. He claimed that she left at 7 p.m. However, her cell phone's location data and surveillance video from a gas station next to his home indicated that she left at 7:30 p.m. and drove to the area where she was later found on fire. Authorities felt that it was extremely unlikely that Jessica encountered someone else in the 30 minutes between leaving Tellis' home and being discovered on fire. A sample of his DNA was taken, which was found to match DNA taken from her car keys. It was discovered that they were found along a path between the crime scene and his sister's home. Surveillance video showed a vehicle, believed to his sister's, stopping briefly at his home at 7:50 p.m. before driving towards the crime scene. Surveillance video also helped show that he had changed his clothes 3 times that day. Within an hour of Jessica's murder, Tellis had deleted all communications with her from his cell phone and stopped checking on her, even though they had been in constant contact in the days prior. The deleted messages showed that in the week prior to her murder, he repeatedly asked to have sex with her. Each time, she denied his request. The messages also showed that she had denied him sex 4 times on the day of her death. Prosecutors believe that, while in Tellis' driveway, he tried to have sex with Jessica, However, she resisted. They believe that he became enraged and suffocated her until she was unconscious. In order to distance himself from the crime, he then drove her car to the area where it was later found. He then ran on foot to his sister's home nearby, took her car, picked up gasoline from his home, returned to Jessica's car, and set it on fire, with her inside. Tellis' defense claimed that the person whom Jessica identified as Eric or Derek was her real killer. Tellis told police that a sex offender named Derek Holmes was stalking her. Residents claimed to have seen them together. However, he was ruled out by investigators based on his alibi and several interviews. Furthermore, doctors and other experts noted that it would have been difficult for her to say anything properly due to the injuries to her mouth and throat. Furthermore, she did not use her cell phone to talk to anyone named Eric or Derek in the 30 days prior to her murder. In October 2017, Tellis went on trial for Jessica's murder. Initially, the verdict was read as not guilty. However, it was discovered that the jury misunderstood the instructions, as many of them had voted for guilty. An hour later, they returned and said that they could not reach a verdict. A mistrial was declared. A new trial began on September 24, 2018 in a different county. However, during it, the new jury was also unable to reach a verdict, so a mistrial was again declared. Prosecutors are deciding whether to retry Tellis a third time for Jessica's murder. In February 2019, Tellis was indicted on murder charges in the murder of Miying Chen Xiao. He has been transported to Louisiana where he will soon face trial in her case. Sadly, Lisa passed away on October 29, 2021 at the age of 52 without being able to see justice happen for Jessica.